Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel, a spiritual user manual for life. This channel is dedicated to reading, unpacking, and analyzing the text section of the book, A Course in Miracles. This is an excellent book for learning of the mind, the power of thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, how we create our reality using them. The sparkly version of the book is used. The word text will precede my reading of the text. The word comments will precede my unpacking and analysis of the text just read. I also include valuable information from the Seth books of Jane Roberts. If this is of interest to you, this is the channel for you. I include a meditation tip at the end, which I hope will be of great help to many. This video is for the section in Chapter 3, Atonement Without Sacrifice. To keep the videos under 15 minutes, I've broken it into two parts. This is Part A. In this part, several historical errors and the misunderstandings that arose from them are corrected. A viewing of the prior videos, especially the last one, will always be helpful. Let's begin. Text. Atonement without sacrifice. There is another point which must be perfectly clear before any residual fear, which may still be associated with miracles, becomes entirely groundless. The crucifixion did not establish the atonement. The resurrection did. This is a point which many very sincere Christians have misunderstood. No one who is free of the scarsitierra could possibly make this mistake. If the crucifixion is seen from an upside-down point of view, it does appear as if God permitted, and even encouraged, one of his sons to suffer because he was good. Many ministers preach this every day. This particularly unfortunate interpretation, which arose out of the combined misprojections of a large number of my would-be followers, has led many people to be bitterly afraid of God. This particularly anti-religious concept enters into many religions, and this is neither by chance nor by coincidence. Yet the real Christian would have to pause and ask, how could this be? Is it likely that God himself would be capable of the kind of thinking which his own words have clearly stated is unworthy of man? Comments. Take a deep breath, people. The course has just symbolically run through the temple and overturned all the tables. In plain words, it just stated that Jesus was not crucified to forgive us of our sins. That this misinterpretation was neither by chance or coincidence, but deliberate. This raises many questions. Of all that I can think of, the only one that matters is, what is the truth? Here's the knowledge given to us by the course up to this point. We have the law of cause and effect, the golden rule, the atonement plan, and Jesus in charge of the healing process. When these are carefully examined, it leads us to the following. Fear is not an effective tool if the goal is to increase the awareness of love. Faith in the laws of God is not increased by teaching their distortion. The objective of teaching is to impart to the students all the knowledge of the teacher, thereby eliminating the need for the teacher. However, the question still remains. What is the truth? Text. The best defense, as always, is not to attack another's position, but rather to protect the truth. It is unwise to accept any concept if you have to turn a whole frame of reference around in order to justify it. This procedure is painful in its minor applications, and genuinely tragic on a mass basis. Persecution is a frequent result, undertaken to justify the terrible misperception that God himself persecuted his own Son on behalf of salvation. The very words are meaningless. It has been particularly difficult to overcome this because, although the error itself is no harder to overcome than any other error, men were unwilling to give this one up because of its prominent escape value. In milder forms, a parent says, "This hurts me more than it hurts you," and feels exonerated in beating a child. Can you believe that the father really thinks this way? It is so essential that all such thinking be dispelled, that we must be very sure that nothing of this kind remains in your mind. I was not punished because you were bad. The holy benign lesson the atonement teaches is lost if it is tainted with this kind of distortion in any form. Comments. Let's reaffirm, with some detail, what the course has taught us up to this point. First is the law of cause and effect. The contents of our minds, specifically our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, desires, and will, combine to create the cause. The creations that flow from it, events, objects, and experiences, are its effect. The golden rule. A component of this law states, "Do unto others as you will have them do unto you," or, "What you give, you will receive." Know that the laws of creation can be misunderstood, but never violated. Next is the Atonement plan. Its objective is to awaken us from our sleep, get us back on the path to learning about our minds, the laws of creation, and identifying and removing all blocks to the awareness of love's presence. It uses miracles, acts of love, as its sole tool. This defensive tool has the unique feature of not being able to be weaponized. It cannot be used for attack. One of the challenges we encounter in learning the Golden Rule is how to appropriately connect what we give to what is received. As we gain some familiarity with this rule, fear is to be expected in some situations. As we realize some of what we gave in the past was, to put it mildly, quite a bit less than loving. In such situations, having an escape card would be very desirable. However, the law is the law. Trying to believe otherwise will not change it. Give love, you will receive love. Text. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, is a strictly karmic viewpoint. It is a real misperception of truth, by which man assigns his own evil past to God. The evil conscience from the past has nothing to do with God. He did not create it, and he does not maintain it. God does not believe in karmic retribution. His divine mind does not create that way. He does not hold the evil deeds of a man even against himself. Is it likely, then, that he would hold against anyone the evil that another did? Be very sure that you recognize how utterly impossible this assumption really is, and how entirely it arises from misprojection. This kind of error is responsible for a host of related errors, including the belief that God rejected man and forced him out of the Garden of Eden. It is also responsible for the fact that you may believe, from time to time, that I am misdirecting you. I have made every effort to use words that are almost impossible to distort, but man is very inventive when it comes to twisting symbols around. Comments. This earth we reside on is a school. It is for us to learn about ourselves, our minds, the laws of creation, and a whole lot more. The Atonement plan is its curriculum. A Course in Miracles is its latest iteration. Mistakes, lots of them, we are expected to make. We learn and grow beyond them by identifying, correcting, and atoning for them. One of the objectives of all this learning is we create our own reality, individually and collectively. As our understanding and acceptance of this truth grows, we take more responsibility, blame less, for our experiences. For we come to know they came from us. This is what we gave to ourselves. At some point, as we awaken, we come to realize heaven and earth is a state of mind within all of us. This is the gift of a mind and free will from our God, given to us all. It's going to take a while for us just to learn and master the basics. Text. God himself is not symbolic, he is fact. The Atonement, too, is totally without symbolism. It is perfectly clear because it exists in light. Only man's attempts to shroud it in darkness have made it inaccessible to the unwilling and ambiguous to the partly willing. The Atonement itself radiates nothing but truth. It therefore epitomizes harmlessness and sheds only blessing. It could not do this if it arose from anything but perfect innocence. Innocence is wisdom because it is unaware of evil, which does not exist. It is, however, perfectly aware of everything that is true. Comments. The objective of A Course in Miracles is to help us identify and remove all the obstacles to the awareness of love's presence, of which there are many. The Atonement plan is its roadmap. The plan consists of miracles, acts of love, specifically 53 principles of miracles. See Chapter 1, Principles of Miracles. They are all defensive and cannot be used for attack, which is their strength. I recommended they be periodically reviewed. In doing so, we begin to understand the mechanics of the mind, how we create our reality, the laws that govern this process, and a whole lot more. We better understand the significance of our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, desires, and will. Why we must be more deliberate in our decisions and actions. How they lead to true and lasting strength. Not from attack, but by giving only peace and love. For, if that is all you give, that is all you will receive. Text. The resurrection demonstrated that nothing can destroy truth. Good can withstand any form of evil because light abolishes all forms of darkness. The atonement is thus the perfect lesson. It is the final demonstration that all of the other lessons which I taught are true. Man is released from all errors if he believes in this. The deductive approach to teaching accepts the generalization which is applicable to all single instances, rather than building up the generalization after analyzing numerous single instances separately. If you can accept the one generalization now, there will be no need to learn from many smaller lessons. Comments. So what was deliberately misinterpreted led to many distortions, weaponized to pursue various agendas, and led to many having a deep and unshakable faith in simply the truth. One of the objectives of the course is to correct this misinterpretation. This section is the strongest effort so far to directly confront this misinterpretation. The atonement plan is the final lesson in this process. It releases us from all errors, mistakes, sins, misunderstandings, distortions, lies. It makes no difference. The truth restores our minds to its original state. A little more aware, a little wiser, a little more perfect, if you will. As always, our task is to put these ideas to the test, determine if they are valid and reliable. For those that made it this far into the video, here's a meditation tip. Spend a few minutes of quiet time, preferably at the start or end of your day, focusing on being as peaceful and gentle as you can, with yourself and with others, especially those you have difficulty with. Thanks again for joining me on this journey. If you've gotten any value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe.